17 psychological facts about thinking of someone, what it means. Penny for your thoughts? Oh, you're thinking about them again? You know, there are a few psychological facts about thinking of someone that help you understand why this is happening. Do you find yourself thinking about your significant other while you're apart, or a family member you haven't seen in a while? Or perhaps you met a new neighbor last week, and all of a sudden, they pop into your thoughts almost every day? Sometimes, there are obvious reasons for this. It could be their birthday, they may have borrowed your spade and not given it back, or you just enjoy the thought of them. But what does it mean when you really can't stop thinking of someone? Let's find out. 17 psychological facts about thinking of someone. First, they may be thinking about you too. There's no scientific rhyme or reason behind this, but often when one person has someone on their mind, the other person will suddenly think of them as well. Humans are interesting creatures when you really dig deep. And our thoughts seem to be connected in ways we can't really explain. So if someone pops into your mind and you have no clue why, it could be because you've been running through their mind recently, too. Second, you might be afraid to be alone. This is not an attack. But at times, when we think of someone, especially someone we love, it makes us feel less alone, almost as if they're right there with us. So it makes sense that if you're feeling alone, bringing up that special person in your mind can help with those feelings. Third, or just be falling in love. Another reason you may have someone on your mind 24/7 is learned. If someone has stolen your heart, it's typical for you to be thinking about them a lot. And this will often happen in times that remind you of them or whenever you wish they could be with you. If the person you're thinking of constantly is a potential romantic partner, you may want to let them know they've been on your mind. Fourth, thinking about someone you love can literally make you happy. Research has shown that thinking about someone you love can trigger the release of oxytocin in the brain, even in the absence of physical contact. This is because the brain has learned to associate the person with positive emotions and social bonding experiences, leading to the release of oxytocin as a reward. Oxytocin has been found to have a number of positive effects on mood and behavior. When released in response to thinking about someone you love, oxytocin can lead to feelings of happiness, comfort, and affection. Fifth, thinking about someone can also be a form of escapism. Thinking about someone can temporarily distract from reality or one's problems and worries. Sometimes, this can be a healthy way to take a mental break from stress or anxiety. It can be comforting to daydream about spending time with someone you love or imagine scenarios where you feel supported and happy. However, when thinking about someone becomes a form of escapism that is used excessively or compulsively, it can have negative effects on mental health. It can become a way to avoid dealing with real problems or emotions, leading to a cycle of avoidance and distraction. Sixth, the act of thinking about someone can lead to changes in heart rate. Thinking about someone activates neural pathways associated with emotions, memories, and social bonding. This leads to the release of hormones and neurotransmitters like adrenaline and cortisol that can affect the cardiovascular system. The sympathetic nervous system can increase heart rate and other physiological responses, while the parasympathetic nervous system can decrease heart rate and promote relaxation. The interplay of these responses can vary depending on the relationship, emotions, and context. 7. Repeatedly thinking about someone can lead to intrusive thoughts or obsessive thinking patterns. This can happen when we become preoccupied with someone, and our thoughts start to dominate our mental space and interfere with other areas of our life. Obsessive thinking can be accompanied by feelings of anxiety, guilt, shame, or frustration. These emotions may lead to compulsive behaviors such as seeking reassurance. If left unchecked, obsessive thinking can impact your mental health, relationships, and overall well-being, and may require professional help to manage. Girl Daydreaming with Sunset. Image by Mcredifine from Pixabay. 8. Your thoughts can influence your dreams, and vice versa. If you dream of someone, there's a chance they'll follow you into reality the next morning and sit on your mind all day long. But on the other hand, if you have been thinking about someone all day, they may slip into your dreamland. The emotional and cognitive associations we have with someone can manifest in our dreams, and the content of our dreams can shape our waking thoughts and emotions. 9. There might be some unresolved issues with this person. If you have lost contact with someone and still haven't resolved things, they may play a bit on your mind. When we experience conflict or negative experiences with someone, our brain perceives this as a threat to our well-being and activates our stress response system to help us cope. However, if the conflict remains unresolved, our brain may continue to perceive the person as a potential threat, leading to repetitive and intrusive thoughts about them. This can signify that our brain is trying to process and resolve unresolved issues. It may signal a need to address the conflict directly or seek out support to help manage our emotional reactions. 10. The more frequently you think about someone, the stronger your emotional connection with them can become. Your thoughts and emotions are closely intertwined, and frequent thoughts about someone can reinforce positive emotions such as affection, attraction, and admiration. As your brain becomes more familiar with the person, it may start to associate them with pleasurable experiences and feelings, strengthening your emotional bond. In turn, this can lead to increased feelings of intimacy, trust, and loyalty towards the person, and may foster a deeper connection over time. However, it's important to balance your thoughts and emotions with healthy communication and actions to build a sustainable and fulfilling relationship. 11. The brain cannot distinguish between thinking about someone and actually being with them. This means that even just thinking about someone can activate the same brain regions associated with social interaction and bonding as being physically present with them. This leads to the release of oxytocin, a hormone associated with feelings of trust and connection. So, thinking about someone can have a powerful impact on our emotional state, even if the person is not physically present. 12. Thinking of someone too much can affect your focus in your daily life. When we are preoccupied with someone, our brain may prioritize thoughts and emotions related to that person, making it harder to concentrate on other activities. This can lead to reduced productivity, decreased performance, and increased stress and anxiety. It can be helpful to practice mindfulness or cognitive strategies that redirect attention back to the present moment, and to establish healthy boundaries around our social interactions and relationships. 13. You'll make more excuses to contact them. Often when we think of someone a lot, the natural desire is to reach out and contact them. Our brains crave social connection and seek opportunities to interact with the people we think of. This can take the form of reaching out through phone calls, texts, social media, or in-person interactions, and may involve rationalizing or justifying the contact as necessary or important. When we are preoccupied with someone, our brain may perceive the person as a source of pleasure or reward, leading us to seek out their company more frequently. By becoming aware of these tendencies, we can better manage our social interactions and maintain healthy boundaries in our relationships. 14. Something could have triggered a memory you share. If you're wondering why you're thinking about your best friend from elementary school suddenly, it could be because a memory was triggered. This may be as simple as a smell or sound. Or perhaps you ate something that you remember eating with this person. The trigger could be bigger, like visiting a familiar place or remembering a traumatic event. Either way, once this triggers your memories, you may find the person popping up in your thoughts for days, weeks, or even months after. It may take you reaching out to them, if possible, to calm those thoughts. 15. If you think about someone you've just met, you probably want to know them more. This is a sign of an emerging interest or attraction toward the person. When we encounter someone new, our brains start to process information about them, including their appearance, voice, body language, and behaviors. If we find them interesting, engaging, or appealing in some way, our brains may release dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This can reinforce our desire to get to know them better. By paying attention to these thoughts,